Welcome to a Living Word moment. We are in a time that boundaries are having to be set. With COVID-19, our Hurricane Michael recovery, and because of that, a lot of people are expressing a lot of opinions. And that is okay if the opinions are based upon stewardship, which I mean by that by safeguarding or protecting or safekeeping words, and not out of selfishness. You see, we have to be discerning during this time of really what is going on. As followers of Christ, we are taught to love one another. In fact, it's the second greatest commandment, because the first is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, your mind, and your strength. So, when we are set with the right and appropriate boundaries, we are actually increasing our love and care for one another, as well as ourselves, as well as everyone's safety. Actually, by having healthy guidelines and showing responsibility, or can we say showing good stewardship, that's good. You see, there's a difference between want and need. You may not want to listen, but you need to listen. You may not want to, but you need to. Sometimes God doesn't give us what we want. He gives us what we need. Paul, for example, in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7 through verse 10, Paul did not have everything going perfect. Paul did not have everything that he needed. In fact, he had to have what was translated in one translation, he had a constant touch with my limitations. Another translation said he had a thorn in the flesh. Now, I'm not sure what that was, and Paul didn't tell us, and we know the Lord didn't remove it from him. It was just there. In fact, good came out of it. It pushed Paul to prayer. And you know what? Prayer is a good stewardship principle that will help keep us focused with a good attitude and a good opinion. And in the midst of that, he found out that God's grace was sufficient. And God's grace gives power in the midst of his weakness. So Paul did not have all of his needs met, but he found grace and he found power. He also said, I know what it means to be content and full in the midst of the battle between want and need. In fact, Philippians 4:11, I'm going to read it to you. I'm not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content in whatever circumstances I find myself in. I know what it is to be in need. I know what it is to have plenty. I've learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, or whether living in plenty or in want, because I can do everything through Christ, through him who gives me strength. Then he goes on and says, and my God will meet all your needs according to his glorious riches in Christ Jesus. Are you saying that, Pastor, that God doesn't meet our wants? No, I'm not saying that at all. Sometimes God just blesses us and he just gives us the desires of our hearts because he just loves us and because he just wants to. So in the midst of having responsible boundaries between want and needs, God gives us what we need over what we want. And what he's looking for, he is looking for stewardship. What he's looking for is to give us our safeguarding, our protection, our safekeeping. Our safety above our selfishness. So I want you to receive that living word today.
Philippians 4:12 and 13.
I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want, living in plenty or in want. I can do everything through Him who gives me strength. Yeah, I can do everything through Him who gives me strength. Yeah, all right. Well, I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want, living in plenty or in want. Here we go. I can do everything through Him who gives me strength. I can do everything through Him who gives me strength. Hey, hey, all right. Hey, hey, oh, hey, hey. I have learned the secret. Yeah, I know the secret. Do you want to know the secret?